little paraphrases that say truths. So, if I'll go over here, a maxim for no injury. An act of law does no one wrong. And that's in Black's Law Dictionary, page 1617 in the 7th edition. Um, there's so many, but one of the main things that I've always remembered while reading a book a while back, um, there's a maxim in law that states the inclusion of one is the exclusion of all others. So what does that mean? If you admit to being a driver on your driver's license, that means you are no longer a taxpayer or a voter or a human being or any of those things, because you've claimed to be this legal fiction. And if you look at the list on where they put these legal fictions, it's down at the bottom. So it's all about consent. If you do not feel like you have the right to do whatever you want without harming other people or their property, if you don't feel you have the right to do that, then you probably don't. But if you do feel that, which you should, and if you have compassion and all that stuff, most of us act in ways we wouldn't because of the fear we were put under by these institutions. So at that point, we just have to step out of it. You know, I'm gonna link to one of these .org Maxim pages, and it's crazy. Like, every person is a human being, but not every human being is a person. So that's another legal maxim. Which one was that? Black's Law Dictionary, 7th edition, page 1672. Now these are legit things. Like, yeah. But one thing, like, whenever I was pulled over for driving without insurance, I first of all was very polite to him and asked him for his information because I don't want to be talking to a stranger, right? I didn't lie to him because that's one of the biggest things. When you lie, you're liable for your actions. So I straight out told him I didn't have insurance. I was on my way to work. I couldn't afford insurance, so I had to basically start from scratch. And yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. He even let me go. He's like, technically, I should impound your car and all this stuff and doing that whole fear treatment thing. But legitimately, what else can I do, right? Wasn't doing anything wrong. The only reason he pulled me over was because there wasn't a sticker on my license plate. A fucking sticker. So knowing that I'm one with everybody, like, I'm not gonna go out there and speed and do stupid shit because I value life more than anything. Plain and simple, mine, my own, and others. I don't know if I'd be able to live with myself if I, drove like a maniac and killed someone. Okay, that's my insurance. My own heart is my insurance. My own personal beliefs for living on this planet and sharing it with everybody is my law. So, yeah, okay, but yeah, the inclusion of one is the exclusion of all others. So we all have the capacity to work as these certain things. When you register to vote, when you register for all these things, it gives you the ability to, the capacity to, like, nothing says you have to be that person. Nothing at all. But when they ask you, can I see your identification? And if you don't say anything like, well, if you're under the assumption that I'm acting in that capacity, I am not. But if you need this for a reference to show that I do have a legal person, and that or whatever, like, there's so many ways to actually deal with it with compassion. Hopefully, you're not dealing with an asshole, but I've had my run-ins, and everything has been fine. So it really depends on, I guess, how you judge the situation. Like, my heart was beating like crazy when I was pulled over. Like, I was scared. I don't want my vehicle to be impounded or whatever. Like, I don't care what words you use, but it's the intent behind the words. If the only word you know for car is car, plain and simple, just call it a car. You don't just call it a personal vessel or whatever. It is your private property, that's for sure. That's one to learn. But it's thanks for listening, guys, because it's very important that we know who and what we are. We are all individuals created from God. There's no possible way that we would have the minds that we do and physical actions that we have without being one with the Creator, because we can create. It's plain and simple. Actually, there's another maxim, if I can find it real quick. Here's another good one. That which is ours cannot be transferred to another without our act, which is consent. That's Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. There's contract law, there's all these things, it's crazy. Like, there's another one. Plain truths need not be proven. The 4th edition of Black's Law Dictionary. So if you are a living, breathing human being, do you need to prove it? If you're literally doing that? So, but there's one more. Sorry. It's a longer video than I wanted it to be, but I'll leave it at that. But I'm going to link to this page. Just read through them quickly. They're like super short. There's more than enough to just like inspire you to kind of just keep these in the back of your mind, you know? Like if you're asking a question to a peace officer or anybody, that right there gives the assumption that you are unaware of the whole thing. So if you're unaware of the whole thing, they cannot force you to consent to anything because full disclosure is not there, which is big. You know, when we sign a mortgage and stuff like that, we just assume we know what the fuck is in the whole thing, and yeah, we don't. So this was supposed to be a video response to Eternally Aware. I love his stuff about banking and freedom and all that. But yeah, I just check his page out. I'll link it to him. Eternally Aware. He's got 84 videos right now, and he's, you know, another individual who's probably been suppressed like most of us and said, you know, screw you, world, and I'm going to take it upon myself to learn and share this information. So thank you for all your work. And, you know, there's a quote that I love, love, love so much, and actually the first time I heard it, it made me cry. And it says, if I see farther than the others, it's because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. And that is such a big thank you to everybody who has suffered and learned and shared what they know before. It's huge, huge. So thank you everybody who's working at this whole freedom movement, because the tomorrow that I see is smiles all around. So in that cash, thanks for watching.